a lot of innovators thinking. If TESs are working so well for big applications, why not bring them home? But can TESs work on a small scale? And if they can, why haven't we tried this sooner? But first, why sand? I don't like sand.
Imagine a world where our dependence on fossil fuels could be eliminated, where energy is stored in something as simple and abundant as sand. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now. In a small Finnish town, a massive sand battery is heating homes and businesses, cutting emissions, and reducing reliance on oil and gas. It's a breakthrough that could change everything. But the most shocking part, the concept of energy storage has been evolving for years.
Thermal energy storage systems, I think, are going to make most sense for utility scale uses, industrial uses, and urban settings than home use. And part of the reason for that is, like for the sand batteries, they require a lot of volume.
As renewable energy sources like wind and solar power continue to expand their presence in the global energy grid, one of the biggest challenges that renewable energy faces is its intermittency, the fact that solar and wind energy are not always available when demand peaks. This creates a need for effective storage solutions that can manage the excess energy produced during sunny or windy days and deliver it when it's needed most. In recent years, a novel solution to this challenge has emerged: sand batteries. A sand battery is an intriguing new technology that uses sand, or more specifically, heat stored in sand, to store and release energy. While the concept might sound strange at first, it has proven to be surprisingly effective. One such example can be found in Finland, where a small town has started to use a sand battery to heat its homes and businesses, significantly reducing the need for fossil fuels. The development of this technology is particularly relevant in the face of climate change, as it presents a cleaner, more sustainable way to store and use energy. A sand battery, as the name suggests, uses sand as a medium to store energy. The sand is heated to very high temperatures, and this stored heat is used to provide energy, particularly in the form of heating when needed. The idea behind it is simple. Energy, usually surplus renewable energy, is used to heat the sand. When energy is required, the heated sand releases the stored heat, which is then used to warm water or air in a district heating system, for example. This could be a game changer in areas where heating demands are high, especially during the cold winter months. The sand battery in question is located in the small town of Pornain, just north of Helsinki in Finland. This sand battery was developed by a Finnish startup called Polar Night Energy. The company's goal was to create a system that could help reduce the reliance on fossil fuels, especially in terms of heating, by using renewable energy in a more efficient and cost-effective way. The battery itself is massive, standing 13 meters tall and 15 meters wide. It is filled with 2,000 tons of crushed soapstone, a byproduct of the construction industry that has been repurposed as a heat storage. This sand battery can store energy generated from renewable sources like solar and wind power. During periods of excess energy production, when the demand for electricity is low, the surplus energy is used to power a heater that warms the sand to a temperature of up to 600 degrees Celsius. The battery's insulated walls ensure that the heat is retained for long periods of time, sometimes weeks or even months. When the energy is needed, the hot air is released into the district heating network, which warms water that then heats the homes and businesses in the area. What makes this project particularly remarkable is its scale and potential impact. This sand battery is expected to replace fossil fuels, such as natural gas and oil, in Pornain's district heating system, cutting emissions by around 70%. The energy stored in the sand is sufficient to keep the town's homes and businesses warm for a week during the winter or a month in the summer when heating demand is lower. The battery operates in a continuous cycle, with the sand being recharged with excess renewable energy whenever it is available. The need for such energy storage solutions in Finland is particularly pressing due to the country's harsh winters. Finland is known for its extremely cold weather, and the demand for heating during the winter months can be overwhelming. Most of this heat has traditionally come from burning fossil fuels, such as natural gas, oil, and wood chips, all of which contribute to climate change and pollution. The sand battery offers a cleaner alternative, using renewable energy to generate the heat needed for homes, factories, and even swimming pools. This project is also notable because it represents an innovative way to use materials that are otherwise abundant and inexpensive. Sand as a resource is plentiful, especially in regions like Finland, where the natural environment is rich with it. The use of soapstone, a byproduct of the construction industry, is another smart move, as it repurposes material that would otherwise go to waste. This not only makes the technology more affordable but also more sustainable. By using locally sourced materials, the sand battery project helps reduce the environmental footprint associated with energy storage. While the sand battery technology has only been implemented on a small scale so far, there is significant potential for it to be expanded. The company behind the technology, Polar Night Energy, has already made plans to build larger batteries in Finland and potentially other parts of the world. The hope is that this technology can be scaled up and used in areas that rely heavily on heating during the colder months, like Canada, Russia, and other northern regions. There is also the possibility of using this technology in more temperate regions where renewable energy sources are abundant. In terms of its efficiency, the sand battery has shown itself to be a reliable and long-term storage solution. Unlike batteries that rely on chemicals, which can degrade over time, sand does not lose its capacity to store energy as quickly. This means that the sand battery could last for decades, providing long-term value for the communities that adopt it. The cost of this technology, however, remains an important question. While it is believed to be relatively affordable compared to other energy storage systems, the exact price of the battery in Pornain is not public information. Without knowing the specific cost, it is difficult to fully assess the economic viability of the system. What is clear, though, is that the sand battery represents a promising alternative to more traditional forms of energy storage. It is a technology that is simple yet powerful and could be a valuable tool in the global effort to combat climate change. By storing excess renewable energy in a material that is abundant and cheap, the sand battery could help shift the world away from fossil fuels and toward a more sustainable energy future. The sand battery project in Finland is a revolutionary step toward creating a more sustainable energy future. Its main goal is to reduce the reliance on fossil fuels, particularly in the area of heating, by using a more eco-friendly and efficient energy storage method. The town of Pornain, located an hour north of Helsinki, is now at the forefront of this technological innovation, and its district heating system is set to be powered by a large-scale sand battery. At first glance, a sand battery might seem like an odd concept, especially when compared to more conventional energy storage methods such as lithium-ion or sodium-based batteries. However, the idea behind it is quite simple and based on the principle of heat storage. When the town's energy needs are low and there is an excess of renewable energy available, this surplus energy is used to heat a large amount of sand. The sand stored in a massive container can then retain this heat for a long time. When heating is needed, the energy stored in the sand is released and used to provide warmth for the homes and businesses in the town. What makes this project particularly remarkable is its ability to store large amounts of energy in a simple and cost-effective way. Unlike batteries that use chemical reactions to store and release energy, sand can absorb heat and retain it for weeks or even months. This is a significant advantage, as it allows for the long-term storage of energy without the need for constant charging and discharging cycles, which is often seen in more traditional energy storage systems. The sand battery in Pornain is powered by surplus renewable energy, which is often produced when wind or solar energy is abundant. These renewable sources are intermittent, meaning they don't always generate power when it's needed most. The sand battery acts as a buffer, storing excess energy during periods of high renewable energy production and releasing it when demand for heat is higher, such as during the colder months. This ability to store and release energy based on demand is one of the key advantages of the sand battery. The technology behind the sand battery itself is fairly straightforward. The system consists of a large, insulated container filled with crushed soapstone, a material that was chosen for its ability to store heat. When excess renewable energy is available, it powers a heater that blows hot air into the container, gradually heating the sand to a temperature of up to 600 degrees Celsius. The insulation ensures that the heat is retained within the container, allowing it to remain hot for extended periods of time. The system is designed so that when heat is needed, it can be released on demand. This energy is transferred into a district heating network, where it warms the water that circulates throughout the town, providing warmth to homes, factories, and even swimming pools. One of the most impressive features of the sand battery is its scale. The current battery in Pornane measures 13 meters in height and 15 meters in width, which makes it larger than the average house. It holds 2,000 tons of crushed soapstone, a byproduct of the construction industry, which is often discarded or underutilized. By using this byproduct, the sand battery not only makes use of a plentiful material but also helps to reduce waste and promote sustainability. The size of the battery allows it to store a significant amount of heat, enough to meet the heating needs of an entire town of 5,000 people. Despite its large size, the sand battery is remarkably efficient. It is designed to be charged with excess renewable energy whenever it's available, meaning that it rarely drops to the ambient temperature of the surrounding environment. During periods of low energy demand, the battery is topped up with energy from sources like solar or wind power. The system is able to maintain a constant temperature, ensuring that the stored heat can be accessed whenever it is needed. In practice, the battery can heat the town of Pornane for up to a week during the winter, when demand is highest, or for a full month during the summer when heating needs are lower. The impact of this project on Pornane is significant. By using renewable energy stored in the sand battery, the town is able to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels, particularly natural gas and oil, for heating. This shift will lead to a reduction in carbon emissions by around 70%, which is an important step in the fight against climate change. The ability to replace fossil fuels with a sustainable energy source not only helps to combat global warming but also improves air quality and reduces the environmental impact of traditional heating methods. The sand battery also offers a solution to the problem of energy intermittency that is commonly associated with renewable energy sources. While solar and wind power are abundant, they are not always available when energy demand is high. The sand battery provides a simple yet effective way to store energy when it is plentiful and release it when it is needed most, thus ensuring a steady and reliable supply of heat for the town. This characteristic makes the sand battery an ideal solution for regions with high heating demands, especially in countries like Finland, where long, harsh winters make heating essential. Another key advantage of the sand battery is its low cost. Compared to other forms of energy storage, such as lithium-ion batteries, the sand battery is relatively affordable. The use of inexpensive materials like sand and soapstone, along with the simple technology behind the system, helps to keep costs down. This makes the sand battery a promising option for smaller towns and communities that may not have the resources to invest in more expensive energy storage systems. Additionally, the long lifespan of the sand battery, which is expected to last for decades, makes it a cost-effective solution in the long term. While the sand battery in Pornane is still in the early stages of development, it has already proven its potential. Polar Night Energy, the Finnish startup behind the project, has plans to scale up the technology and install larger sand batteries in Finland and other parts of the world. The success of the Pornane project could lead to wider adoption of sand batteries in other regions, especially in countries with cold climates where heating is a major concern. The idea of using a simple, sustainable energy storage solution to reduce fossil fuel consumption is one that could have far-reaching implications, not just for Finland, but for the entire world. The potential applications of sand batteries are vast. Beyond heating, sand batteries could also be used in other sectors that require energy storage, such as industrial manufacturing, or even in electric vehicle charging stations. As the technology develops and improves, there may be even more ways to utilize sand batteries to store and release energy, further increasing their impact on the global energy landscape. The sand battery technology, as seen in Pornain, Finland, represents a promising step forward in the global effort to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and create sustainable energy storage solutions. This technology offers an efficient, low-cost and environmentally friendly way to store energy that can be used when it is needed most, particularly for heating purposes. The project in Pornain is an example of how innovation, when combined with renewable energy, can help mitigate some of the biggest challenges associated with climate change and energy sustainability. One of the most remarkable aspects of the sand battery is its potential to revolutionize the way we think about energy storage. Unlike traditional chemical-based batteries, which use expensive and limited resources like lithium or cobalt, the sand battery stores energy in the form of heat. This simple yet powerful concept uses sand and soapstone, materials that are inexpensive and widely available, allowing the system to be both cost-effective and scalable. In addition, the use of sand means that the material does not degrade over time in the same way that chemical batteries do. This means that sand batteries could last for decades, providing long-term value and helping to avoid the environmental and economic costs associated with the disposal and recycling of chemical batteries. The sand battery's ability to store energy for long periods of time makes it especially valuable for areas that experience long cold winters or have high heating demands. Finland, with its harsh winters, is a prime example of a region that can benefit from this technology. In places like Pornain, where heating is a constant concern, the sand battery helps ensure that energy is stored when there is an excess of renewable energy available, such as on windy or sunny days, and can be released when heating demand peaks, particularly during the coldest months of the year. This ability to store energy for weeks or even months is what makes the sand battery stand out from other storage methods, which often have limited storage durations. As the sand battery continues to gain traction, there is significant potential for its use in other regions around the world. Areas with access to abundant renewable energy, such as solar and wind, could see great benefits from this technology. For example, parts of the United States, Canada, and even Australia could benefit from sand battery installations that store excess solar or wind energy and release it during periods of low energy production. The ability to store and use energy in this way could help solve some of the most pressing challenges related to renewable energy, such as energy intermittency and the inability to store excess energy for long periods. While the sand battery is an exciting innovation, it is important to consider the broader implications of the technology. The potential for widespread adoption of sand batteries has the power to transform the energy landscape. In many ways, it represents a new frontier in energy storage, one that does not rely on the typical lithium-ion batteries that have become the standard for modern energy storage. This shift in how we think about energy storage could open the door to new types of energy systems, where renewable energy is stored in simple low-cost materials like sand and released as needed to provide heating, electricity, or other forms of energy. One of the major advantages of sand batteries is their affordability compared to traditional chemical storage systems. Lithium-ion batteries, for example, are costly to produce and require rare materials, such as lithium and cobalt, which are often mined under conditions that raise environmental and human rights concerns. The sand battery, on the other hand, relies on common abundant materials, making it an attractive option for communities and municipalities looking for more affordable and sustainable energy solutions. This affordability is crucial, especially for smaller towns or developing regions that may not have the financial resources to invest in more expensive energy storage systems. The long lifespan of sand batteries is another significant advantage. Traditional chemical batteries, such as lithium-ion batteries, tend to degrade over time and require frequent replacements, which can be both costly and environmentally damaging. In contrast, the sand battery has no such limitations. The heat storage capacity of sand does not diminish over time, meaning that the sand battery can last for decades with minimal maintenance. This longevity makes it a more sustainable option in the long term, as it reduces the need for constant replacement and disposal of batteries. This durability, combined with its low cost, makes the sand battery an attractive option for communities looking to make a long-term investment in energy sustainability. Despite these advantages, there are still some challenges that need to be addressed before sand batteries can be widely adopted. One of the main concerns is the scalability of the technology. While the sand battery in Pornani is a success on a small scale, it remains to be seen whether the technology can be scaled up to meet the energy needs of larger cities or regions. The infrastructure required to support large-scale sand batteries, such as district heating systems and the insulated containers that store the heat, could be costly to implement, especially in urban areas with higher population densities. However, as the technology continues to develop and more sand batteries are installed, it is likely that the costs associated with scaling up will decrease, making the technology more accessible to a wider range of communities. Another potential challenge is the limited awareness and understanding of the sand battery technology. As a relatively new innovation, sand batteries are not yet widely known or understood by the general public or energy sector professionals. To overcome this, it will be important for companies like Polar Night Energy to continue raising awareness and educating stakeholders about the benefits and potential of sand batteries. This could involve conducting pilot projects in other regions, publishing research on the technology's efficiency and performance, and working with governments and energy providers to explore how sand batteries can be integrated into existing energy systems. The environmental benefits of the sand battery cannot be overstated. By reducing the reliance on fossil fuels for heating, the sand battery helps lower carbon emissions, making it an important tool in the fight against climate change. The ability to store and release renewable energy without the need for harmful chemicals or emissions is a significant step forward in creating a cleaner, greener energy future. Additionally, the use of soapstone, a byproduct of the construction industry, further reduces the environmental impact of the technology. By repurposing waste material, the sand battery helps reduce the need for mining and resource extraction, making it a more sustainable option compared to other energy storage systems. In the long term, sand batteries could play a crucial role in the global transition to renewable energy. As more regions around the world look for ways to reduce their carbon footprints and move away from fossil fuels, technologies like the sand battery offer a viable and cost-effective solution. With the growing demand for clean energy solutions, the sand battery could become an essential part of the energy storage toolbox, alongside other technologies like lithium-ion batteries, pumped hydro storage, and even new innovations like gravity-based storage systems.